What's going on, everybody? It's your man, DJ Caveman. We're back for a new podcast, episode 1 of what right now we're working on. The title right now is just After Dark because it's dark outside and we're going to be on that bullshit most of the time. So get your drinks up. And if you got to smoke something, feel free. But we're relaxing tonight, but we're about to get it. We're going to have some serious conversations and we're going to have some, you know what I mean? We're going to talk about the bullshit. You know what I mean? We're not watching our language. And we're saying what the hell we got to say. And as long as you stand on it, you know what I mean? That's all that really matters. But first episode, we got super special guest in the building today. I like to say that I have probably the best network of people in my life, people from all walks. So our first guest we had to bring on, she hit me up actually and was like, yo, we got to do this podcast. She's a lawyer. She's a triathlete. She tried to swim the English Channel. She's the person that pushes the boundaries to all the limits that are available. She's also my big cuz, Leslie Andrews Boker, on the show today.
Hey, Daryl.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So just to introduce yourself to the world, you've been on a couple versions of different podcasts that we've had, but for any new listeners out there, explain to the world who you are and what you do.
Oh, yeah. My name is Leslie. As you stated earlier, I am a lawyer. I do criminal defense right now. Started off as a prosecutor many years ago, and I have my own practice here in Round Rock or Georgetown, Texas, which is just outside of Austin. And I practice primarily in 2 counties, Travis County, which is Austin, and Williamson County. Like I said, I have my own practice and pretty busy. From Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Got to represent the D. But I've been in Texas for a while now, so but I still claim Detroit as home.
As you should.
Yes, that's right.
So, we're just gonna get right into it. A couple days ago, Granddad Biden stepped away from the race. And endorsed Kamala Harris as VP.
He did.
They still have to go through the process of the DNC and the official nomination. But what were your initial thoughts? You called me. It felt like as soon as I read it, I got a text from you. So
yeah, I was anticipating this move actually. The rumors were circulating maybe about 3 or 4 days before it happened that he may step down. That we would. If he planned on stepping down, we would probably hear about it on Sunday, which we did. And so I wasn't too surprised. I know a lot of people were surprised, but I think he made the right move. So here we are. Now it's time to push the gas pedal and get Kamala Harris in office in the White House.
Indeed. I mean, as far as like my initial reaction was that I kind of felt like it was just kind of too late. Like they probably should have pulled the trigger on it 2 months ago, or right after the debate, or, I had a conspiracy theory early on that Joe was only going to serve like 2 or 3 years anyway, and then step away. Mostly because beforehand he was talking about really only wanting to do it for like 1 term and then, stepping away from it anyway. So I thought he was going to set her up in a different way. With only 100 days, it's a heavy lift.
Yeah.
So I would have liked to have seen it a little sooner. I think they've rolled it out in a weird way, but like a more beneficial way than like him being on TV looking sick or, vulnerable.
Right.
But the other thing that I noticed right away is that there still hasn't been like the official Barack endorsement, unless I missed it.
Yeah. So first of all, I had the same reaction, like, man, it's a little too late. Why, they should have caught this, like you said, before the debate or right after the debate. I will say that when he was first elected 4 years ago, I made a bet with a colleague. I said then that the plan or the strategy should have been, hey, you got this one term, get Harris up to speed, let her be the next person that we push forward. That was what I thought they should have done 4 years ago. And my colleagues said, oh, absolutely not. He's definitely going to have a second term. And we were talking right after he was elected the first time. So I had the same reaction that you had, which was, it's just too late. But I thought about it today and I thought, it's actually, I think, better this way, because now, the other party is caught off guard. They're scrambling now. There's not a lot of, there hadn't been a lot of time for her to be under the radar, So now it's like 100 days, and she won't get burned out. I think we'll feel the energy for the next 100 days. So I think actually it kind of worked out. I think it will. But yeah, so in terms of, Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, I know a lot of people are concerned about that. I think that they're just, taking a step back. They really do not want to be a part of this political life anymore. Michelle Obama's name comes up all the time, and she's made it clear that she wants no parts of this. And I think they're just kind of staying out of it. Maybe they feel like she doesn't really need it. And I don't know. That's a good question. I know everybody's thinking about that, but I'm not even sure if it's needed to be at this point.
Oh, now, so I'm always curious to know, like, what your thoughts are about, sure, it's 100 days, but it's a heavy lift, but she's got the full. Seems like right now she's got the full power of the Democratic Party behind her. Mm-hmm. She's already raised like over $80 million, mm-hmm. which is huge, mm-hmm. Considering that they only really had about 120 in the bank anyway.
Right.
For her to raise almost what they have in such a short time shows mm-hmm. that she's definitely got the support from the party. Yes. But I also think about, like, what exactly is her base? Like, we know, like, I don't know how to put it, like, delicately, but, like, she was a strategic choice,
right?
To be the vice president.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not too I don't really understand what her base is outside of definitely Black women for sure. Mm-hmm. You would think,
right?
But, mm-hmm. What about everybody else? And you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure that she can carry the demographics that she needs to carry to get 270. Just because she hasn't really been around. Right. Well, I'm sure she's doing her job, but right. You don't see her as much as you saw Joe or right. other vice presidents in the past, or even first ladies. Like, she just seems like she's just in the back, like pulling strings, but now she got to be up front, and nobody really knows who she is.
Yeah, that's true.
They just know the rumors about her record as a prosecutor, where she was, doing her job,
right,
and putting away bad guys. But now that hurts her with Black men, because Black men feel slighted. So, yeah. What are your initial thoughts on, like, her challenge?
So, when she ran the first time, I know a lot of. We're really know a lot, but you make a good point. I remember a lot of Black men were like, no way will I support her, because she was a prosecutor. And at that time I was also a prosecutor. So I was like, this is interesting. But I think she'll get young people. I think she will get, she will energize a lot of young voters. As you stated, Black women. I don't think we'll hit, clearly her base is not going to be white men. I do not think the older voters will come out for her. So it is going to be tough. But the way I look at it, Trump lost by 8 million votes?
Popular vote, yeah.
And I don't see how he makes that up. Now, when Biden was running, I was concerned because I did not think Trump could make up the 8 million, but I also thought Biden would not pull out enough people. Like, that's what I was concerned about. I think this move will draw out more people than he would have. Now, where, I don't know, but I think that I don't think Trump can make up that 8 million, and I think that she will energize a lot of people to come out and vote. I
Well,
don't.
politically speaking, though, he doesn't have to carry 8 million. He just has to carry 270. So if he wins if his base comes out in the right states,
Right.
you know what I mean, it won't matter.
Yeah.
And his
Yeah.
base is relatively solid. He doesn't necessarily need 8 million more votes if his base
correct.
votes, because
That's
his base
correct.
is coming out.
Yeah, but I don't know that he will. I guess what I'm saying is I don't think he's gonna make up. So we're talking about the swing states, right? And we're talking about independent voters. I do not think they're going to go that route. I think independent voters will go to Harris. I think it also depends on who she picks as her running mate, right? And I'm pretty sure they'll be very strategic. I know they were looking at Mark Kelly, who was out of Arizona. I don't know if that's going to be beneficial or not, but I know they're looking at that area. Shapiro on the East Coast. So really, I think it depends on her running mate. I do. To cover where she will, to fill in the gaps, I guess. I just do not think. I think that Trump is not going to gain any more than what he had before. I think it'll be close, but I do not think he will gain any more. In fact, I think he probably will lose some. And I think that a lot of people are concerned about that because his base or his voters are very loud. So it seems like they're more than I think that the masses, because they just speak so loudly. But I think underneath the radar, she will generate the votes that's needed. I think.
Do you have any predictions on her vice president?
I have no idea.
Or opinions on who you think she should choose?
I do not have an opinion about that. I have an opinion as to who she should not choose. We're hearing names like Newsom, Whitmer. I do not think she should pull Newsom. That's the same. She doesn't get anything from that. Whitmer, I think is just too risky. 2 women, on the ticket. I think that's just too risky. I do think it should be a man. And I think it actually should be a white man. I really do. I think we're cutting it close. Putting a black woman at the top of the ticket. I think she can pull it off, but I do not think she could do it with someone of the same gender or another minority. I think she has no choice but to pick a white man.
Yeah, I think, if you're thinking like logical, like political brain, you got Mark Kelly's an astronaut.
Mm-hmm.
He's super shiny. He's young. Andy Bashir is in Pennsylvania, I think.
Yeah.
Which is a swing state. What did I drop? The guy from Kentucky. What's his name? I can't think of his name right
Mark Kelly is a former Republican, I want to say. I know his wife was Democrat, but I think he was.
Yeah. I saw something today that talked about Gina Raimondo, who used to be the governor of Rhode Island, on the ticket. But Rhode Island's not a swing state. We get 2 electoral votes. She's just a bad choice. Mm-hmm. And, someone on the ground here, she didn't do a good job as the governor, in my personal opinion. So I don't even know where her name came from. But I definitely think that, if she had to, I would probably choose the senator from Pennsylvania, or Kentucky, just for votes, to be in that demographic, like the Bible Belt. I think it's going to be super tough for her.
Yes, absolutely.
But I also am a fan of shaking shit up. And just listening around to a few different folks that I follow. Trevor Noah said that she should run with a Latino or a Latino male to pull, or run with a woman, just to shake shit up, because America is good at wanting to be the first to do something. So, but strategically, I don't know if that will work unless it's a Southern woman.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, it's got to be somebody who can pull votes from states that she has virtually no chance to win. But if she can pull enough of it, then maybe she would have an opportunity.
Right. I could see that too. And it's funny, I thought the same thing at first. I thought, oh man, Big Gretch on that ticket. Like, I would love to see that. But I mean, this is going to be a first, just having her, as the nominee for a major party. Huge, right? So I don't think, I would love it personally, but honestly, I just think that's too risky. And there's obviously so much at risk with this election. I kind of like the Latino. I like the Latino. I could see that, because truth of the matter is people are surprised to hear this, but, Trump has a lot of Latino support.
A lot. It's not really like he's got Cubans and a lot of New York voted for, maybe not New York, but a lot of Latino folks voted for Trump.
Yeah.
So there are a lot. It's a huge number as well.
I know.
Demographically,
I know.
If you can get the Latino vote, then it'll put you in a good position.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, what's the guy from San Antonio? I should know his name. He has a twin brother. What is his name? He was like a up and coming for years. I'm not sure where he is now. His name will come to me in a minute, but that's not. I like that idea. Did Trevor come up with any names?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he had no names, but I wouldn't even know where to begin. It would probably be somebody from out of nowhere.
Yeah, what's his name? Oh man, I can't. I want to say it was Castro. He has a twin brother out of San Antonio, and he was, like I said, out of Texas. He was a big time up and coming, and he just kind of fell off, which is why I can't think of his name. But yeah, I like that idea. Yeah, that would work. I think.
As a former prosecutor, from what are her biggest strengths aside from obviously her debate skills, which have been on full display? Trump has come out and said that he didn't want to debate her already. But I feel like they should, but also I feel like just because of the short amount of time, I kind of feel like she should force the issue.
Yeah.
Because it's important for her to get her message out. Trump's message is out. We know what it is. Right. He's been thumping it for the last 4 years, 8 years. Like we know what the party's about overall.
Right.
But I think it's more important for her to get her message out than it is for him to get his message out, because she's got to build the base.
So not only is it important for her to get her message out, but as you stated earlier, it's good for people just to see her and see what she's about, right? And one of the things about being a prosecutor, especially on her level, is that what she brings is a sense of strength, toughness, and that's important because as being president of the United States, you got to be on a global level, right? And so that's one of the big things that this country is concerned about: our relationships with other leaders, right? And I think that her being on a stage for the world to see. I don't know if people remember, but she, came out hard against Biden during the first election 4 years ago, and during the very first Democratic debate. And she was pretty strong. And I think people need to see that, especially given the fact that she's a woman, right? They're going to make some people are going to make the assumption, she can't be tough. She can't stand up to people. She can't stand up to top leaders. She's on that stage and she shows her ability, her power, her strength. I think that is even or just as important as her message. Yeah, absolutely. And they say Trump is an idiot, but I swear that man is smart. I wouldn't want to debate her either. I would not.
He's definitely not like a super dummy. He's diabolical, which is why he was able to win the presidency in the first place. My conspiracy theory is that he's moving with the Russian playbook. There's a book I read a while back called The More You Know, The Less You Sleep.
I think I told you about that book. Yes. Oh yeah.
Super good book.
Very
So
good.
if you're looking for something to read, definitely
Yeah.
check it out. It'll give you a lot of insight. And there's a lot of familiar shit happening here now that was happening there.
Absolutely.
In the 90s, 80s, and 90s.
And it shows how Putin came into power, right?
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think, going forward? Obviously, she's got to choose a running mate. She's got to be the official nominee. How important is it, in your opinion, that the party starts to like campaign for her ahead of the DNC?
Yeah, I think that they need to show that they're obviously going to back her. There's no question about it, because if you remember, there was like a question for like 5 minutes, should she really be the nominee? Should they open it up to everybody to put in? And people quickly said, nope, that we're going to be solid. We're going to, come together and back her. I think they should continue to do that, just to show again that, our party is not divided, because up until, this party started to get, a little separate on the whole Biden issue. That was horrible. That was scary. Like, oh, the party is not on the same page. That's horrible. So now that they're, behind her and they're showing that right now, I think that's very important. I haven't really heard a lot about the JD Vance comments that he made, but I guess that's causing some controversy within the Republican Party already. So now they're trying to, it seems like to me, they're slightly unraveling. I don't know. Did you hear about that?
No, but JD Vance is always saying some wild shit. So
yeah. So something happened recently. I guess he made a comment about women who have no children shouldn't be in leadership or something to that effect. I don't know. But people are like starting to question his role, or whether or not he can bring Trump over the finish line. So now it seems like to me they're about to unravel. I'm glad that the Democratic Party is getting tighter and showing support for Harris, because that was a horrible moment for the party, I think, when they started to kind of unravel around Biden.
Right. I agree. Mm-hmm. You can't have any real weaknesses during an election cycle, or even appear to be weak, because campaign ads are they don't hold any punches during campaign ads. How? And I was thinking about this today. Like, Kamala's married to a white dude, right? So she's got to he's definitely got to be a face.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna have to like be out there on his Michelle Obama energy. I don't know where he's from. Is he also from California, or do you think that he's an advantage or a disadvantage?
Well, I think that I don't know. That's a good question. I think it's an issue or a question that somebody will have, or thoughts they will have in the back of their heads. Will it make an impact? Probably not, right? Either way, I don't think it'll make an impact either way. I have no idea where he's from, but he brings, I think he has 2 or 3 daughters to this unit. So she does have a family. I even heard that his ex-wife has come out to support her. And that's what I heard today. His ex-wife has made some comment favorable, saying, hey, we need to support her, back her. So that's pretty cool. The other base, I'm sure she'll get, I don't know if that's really considered a base, but, she'll get the support from, the homosexual community, I'm pretty sure, I think, right? You would hope. But when I was thinking about the ex-wife and, blended family kind of like that I think that's helpful. I don't know a whole lot about her husband though. I do think that they're going to start bringing up rumors from her past in terms of who she was involved with when she was coming up in California in the prosecutor's office. I'm pretty sure they're prepared to deal with that. I think the allegations that she had an affair with a man who was married, I don't know, but her relationships, I think, will come up. Whether or not it's a huge impact, I just don't think it will be.
His name's Douglas M. Hoff.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. I'm trying to figure out where he's from, but
yeah,
his Wikipedia is looking real light. Yeah, I think we're in an interesting place. Historically.
Yes.
He's from New York City.
Oh wow. Okay.
I think that
does it say 2 or 3? I think they're both girls or all are women. His daughters.
Two daughters.
Okay.
Children, including Ella.
Yeah, I think they refer to her as Mamala.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. My man Joe said that maybe we were talking about Beto O'Rourke as the.
No, he's white. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's white, but he's from El Paso. So
okay.
When he was coming up, he was Julian Castro. That's his name.
Julian Castro. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. But yeah, so Beto is white, but it throws people off because of his name. He comes from El Paso, so he was around a lot of Latinos growing up, and I think they gave him the nickname Beto because his real name is Robert. So Robert, Roberto, Beto, that's where that name comes from. Yeah. But I was thinking about Julian Castro. That's what I was thinking about. He's out of San Antonio. Mm-hmm. So yeah, look him up. And I don't know where he is right now. And I want to say he may have had a military background. That's something else that, I think they should consider someone who has a military background. Yeah,
that makes Mike Kelly a stronger candidate because astronauts and all of that. I don't know. I think, like I said, it's definitely a heavy lift. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing, what she does next. I don't necessarily have any predictions, but I know that she needs to do something to make sure that she's going to be able to carry the base, because unfortunately there are a lot of folks out there that are not ready. For any kind of woman.
She's got 2 major uphill battles, in my opinion. The beginning of their administration, Biden put her in charge of the border. So, that's one of I think maybe the top issue for the country, this whole immigration issue, right? So she's going to be closely monitored and criticized for, I guess, the Trump administration or the Trump campaign is going to say she did absolutely nothing and that immigration is out of control. That's number one. And then I think the other issue is just how she handles this Israeli, Gaza situation, right? I think she's supposed to meet with President Netanyahu sometime this week, and she's going to be monitored very closely on that. And that concerns me because, again, going back to her base, I think she will bring in a lot of young voters, but it's the young folks who are very concerned about that whole issue too. So, they were protesting all over in these universities. So how she handles that is going to be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I didn't even think about the border situation. I was just thinking just the fact that, the world is not necessarily ready for women leadership, even in movies and television shows, let alone in real life.
Which is crazy to me, right? Because other countries have had women leaders, like, England, Germany had their prime minister as a woman. This is like
Venezuela too, right?
Yeah, it's all over. Like, this is not new to America, which is ironic, right? Because we're supposed to be like, the world leader, but yeah, I'm like, women run countries all over this world. It's just for some reason it's an issue here in America. Mind-boggling, crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. Make sure you go out and vote, motherfuckers.
Yes.
Don't not vote.
Yes, and tell everybody to vote. Bring a friend with you.
Everybody should cast their vote. It's something that you have as a citizen right.
Mm-hmm.
My words of wisdom would only be to do all of your research.
Yes.
Watch whatever debates. Watch all the news outlets.
Yes.
Read all the newspapers. Listen to all the podcasts.
Yes.
Don't necessarily just believe the things you see, even on those shows, though.
That's correct.
Do your due diligence and make an educated choice.
I agree, and like you said, I am Democrat. I've always voted Democrat, but I do my research. I listen to the other sides. I live in a red state. The county I live in is red. A lot of my colleagues are Republicans, and I have conversations with them. I think that's so important, to just have the conversations and challenge people, and then let them challenge you as well. I think that unfortunately we have a lot of people say, I don't care about politics. Let's break that down. You don't care. Do you have kids? You don't care about their education? Do you have your own business? Do you not care about your business, your money? If you have an elderly parent, do you not care about health care? That is politics, right? All of that's all politics. So when people say, I don't care about politics, let's break that down. What does that mean? Maybe you don't care about politicians. Okay, that's fine. But you really should do your research and learn what people are going to be doing. I tell people this all the time, especially presidential elections. You may not care about the president, but you do care about the Supreme Court justices who are making decisions about our lives, right? And guess how they get to where they are? Presidents. So I think people really need to think deeply when they say, I don't care about politics. Nah, I bet you do. Let's, just break it down. And then, really encourage people to get out there and, like you say, do your research.
Especially on the local level, because, your presidents, they handle like the top shelf stuff. But your local politicians are the guys that are on Capitol Hill every day passing all these laws, and they have to vote for these people. I can say, hey, I want this person to be on the court. But the guys that I elected locally might be making that decision. They're doing the interviews. They're doing, you know what I mean? So pay attention to your local politicians, almost more so than your presidential politicians. Because even if your president sends money to your state, it's the state that handles where that money goes.
That's
so,
right.
Elections are important. Voting is important. We're doing your research.
If you smoke marijuana, then you want to pay attention to politics, right? You
got to know the laws.
You got to know the laws. And, here's another thing. I tell my clients all the time when they say, I want to, take a deal, and they just want to get on probation or get out of jail. They don't care. They just want, they'll plead to a felony in a hot minute. And I say, hey, do you know what it means when you're a convicted felon? You can't carry a gun. In Texas, that's a huge deal. And, whoa, what do you mean?
That's like a cell phone in Texas.
That's right. It's like you cannot carry a gun. You cannot carry ammunition. You cannot vote, which is another topic we should have a discussion about later. I think it's hilarious. I'm like, I don't think Trump can even vote for himself. And I don't know if people realize that because he's now a convicted felon.
Oh, shit.
It's a huge deal. And so when people say, I don't care because it impacts you in a lot of ways. People are not informed. And we need to get people, they need to know. They need to be informed.
Yeah, man. We definitely got to have you back on to talk about some legal stuff. You know what I mean? Especially like, now that marijuana is legal in pretty much everywhere except Texas.
Yeah.
You got to treat it like alcohol now.
That's right.
DUI is a DUI. But definitely like being able to get in and break down some of those laws on a different episode.
Yeah, for sure.
You're the in-house legal expert.
Mm-hmm.
I just talk a good game. Um, but before we get you out of here, man, just a couple of fun topics.
Okay.
The Olympics starts on Friday. What's your favorite Olympic event, and what's your guilty pleasure? Like, if you mention it to people, they're like, "Oh, you watch that?"
Obviously swimming, right? I'm definitely watching swimming. And I actually love to watch rowing events. Oh my gosh. I know people are like, what? I just love to watch the rowing events. Now, gymnastics, I know it's like huge. I can't watch it. I get too nervous for them. So I can't even watch gymnastics. And another one I can't watch, there are two more. I can't watch uh, diving because of Greg Louganis. That's still in my
He banged his head on the
yeah, I'm showing my age, but I cannot watch diving for that reason. And or the Winter Olympics, I can't watch ice skating because Debbie Thomas kept falling again, showing my age. But yeah, I love swimming and rowing, and of course, track. I always love track.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to track and field. I always watch the track and the swimming.
Mm-hmm.
I like the equestrian events.
Okay.
And I love watching like anything that's on the water. So like all the kayaking and the rowing.
Yeah.
But we talk about it on our sports podcast all the time. Rhythmic gymnastics is
rhythmic gymnastics. I don't know what that is.
Rhythmic gymnastics is like gymnastics, but with the ribbon.
Oh, rhythmic gymnastics.
Yeah, rhythmic gymnastics.
Is that your thing?
I'll catch myself watching that.
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much watch it all. Like I'm gonna get Peacock and just be up late night watching Olympic.
Yeah,
I like to see it real time too. I always look forward to watching like the cycling, like the indoor stuff. I'm an Olympic guy. They're in LA in 2028. I'm definitely trying to at least be in LA.
Me too. We should grab some Airbnbs now.
Right? Is a wait list, so make sure you get on the wait list if you plan on being at the Olympics in 2028.
Yeah. I'm a huge Olympics fan too. Very exciting times.
If you could recommend a book for the listeners, what book would you recommend?
Woo! Oh man, I'm reading. Oh, well, the one we just talked about. What's his name? David. What's his last name? Was it Sattler? What's another one? I am currently reading Big Gretchen's book. Gretchen Whitmore just came out with a book. I started reading that. It's a fun read, short read. But I also, not a book, but I have a movie recommendation. I think people should watch JD Vance's, what's it called? Hillbilly Elegy or whatever.
Oh, the Hillbilly movie that he did.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it, but it's on my list of things to just.
It's a good movie. It is a good movie. I recommend it, actually. I didn't read this book, but I did watch the movie. I actually watched the movie when it first came out in 2020.
There's rumors that he wasn't always a diabolical evil genius.
Check it out. That's all.
I just finished. Well, I'm almost done with The Other Significant Others.
Huh. That one down.
It's a book that explores. I'll send you the title. It's a book that explores like non-romantic relationships holding the weight of what would be generally considered like a husband or a wife, and then in place of that is like your best friend or and it's like platonic domestic partnerships and things like that, because it's just a different look on this is my person.
Right.
We're not having romantic relations, but this is the person that I count on the most.
Okay.
Kind of thing. I'm trying to grab the author. Super interesting read so far.
Okay.
Her name is Raina Cohen.
Raina Cohen?
Raina Cohen. RHAINA Cohen.
Got it. I'll check it out. That sounds interesting. Different.
Yeah. Strawberry Pop-Tarts or brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts?
Strawberry.
Of
Frosted.
course.
Yes.
This is why we're related.
You check this out. I was in court today. I couldn't believe this. Someone was eating a Pop-Tart in court. I could not believe it.
Wait,
And
like what was going on? They
yes,
they
yes,
snuck, they snuck it in.
yes, it was on the table, half eaten, and not only was it a Pop Tart, it was like brown cinnamon. I'm like, oh my god, like that's disgusting. But yeah, yeah,
Not only are you eating Pop Tarts, you eating nasty Pop Tarts.
yes, yes,
Um,
definitely.
top 5 dinner guests that are alive.
Michelle Obama, Oprah. Oh well, you know how I do. Diana Ross.
Oh, Diana Ross for sure.
Yep. Let me see. LeBron James. And I'm going to go with J. Cole.
J. Cole.
Mm-hmm.
That's
a brother right there.
That's a good table. I like that. I like that table.
Mm-hmm.
If you had the opportunity to do anything you wanted, money is not an object. What would you do? And would you bring anyone with you, or would you do it by yourself?
I'd swim the English Channel. And I'd do it by myself, if I could.
Well, you've attempted it before. Are you going to attempt it again?
I am. Don't tell my mama, though, because, whoo. Yeah, I'm actually going to attempt it, and I already have a slot, 2026.
You've done like 37 triathlons. I don't know if that's the actual number, but it just seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Which one is your favorite, and what would you think? What would you say is the hardest part?
Ironman Cozumel is by far my favorite place. The hardest part for me is the bike. It's longer. The distance is longer. It takes a lot more hours. It's just a grind. Oh my God, it's just a grind. A lot of people think, oh, maybe the running because it's at the end, but by the time you get off the bike, you're just so glad, that you're almost done. Like the run doesn't even bother you. You kind of take it all in. But Ironman Cozumel is by far my favorite. Mm-hmm.
Not Hawaii?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
All right.
The people in Cozumel, the local folks, they are so happy to have us there. It's just a fun time the entire time. Of course, the swim is beautiful. It's like swimming in an aquarium. It's amazing. It's a lot of good energy. So whenever someone asks me, hey, which one should I do? That's the one I recommend.
Word. How do you fit all that training in?
It's hard now. A lot of early mornings and a lot of late nights and very long weekends. Yeah.
I bet.
Mm-hmm.
2 more questions for you in our little rapid fire round.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite quote?
Actually, I got it from a movie, and it had nothing to do with the movie, but it's never lose your sense of humor. It's not, popular and it's a character of a movie, but I live by that. I never lose my sense of humor.
Dope.
Mm-hmm.
I see you're in a red chair.
Yes.
I'm trying not to give you a hard time about being in the red chair.
Why?
Because you're a Michigan alum. You can't be in no red chairs.
It was funny. I don't know if I ever told you this story, but I love Mustangs. And my second,
I remember the Crimson Mustang. Yeah.
My second one, I custom. It was silver, and I got red seats. Oh, I planned it. I was super excited, and I don't know how long I had that car, but I shouldn't tell the story. It's so embarrassing. I go to lunch with my friend, and we go through a drive-through, and I have a Michigan credit card. So I pull up. pay for the food. And the guy goes, "You go to Michigan?" I said, "Yeah, I went to Michigan." "Yeah, I did." He goes, "Huh." He goes, "I'm surprised." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Your car." I said, "What's wrong with my car?" He goes, "It's silver and you have red seats." I'm like, I never.
Yeah, I remember texting you about that. That was a bad look.
I just happen to like red, so you know. But I won't make that mistake again.
Well, Les, thanks for coming on. You know,
Thank
this is our being a part of our pilot episode of After Dark.
All right.
You know, you have to come back when we can talk about lighter situations.
Absolutely.
You know, we'll have you back to do some legal segments, but
Yeah.
also just to chop it up with us on some more fun topics. But I'm sure we'll be touching back on this presidential race sooner rather than later.
All right.
So yeah, if you want to promote anything that you got going on, tell people how they can contact you if they need some legal advice in the state of Texas.
Oh yeah, come talk to me. Let's see, my email address is leslie@abookerlaw.com. Phone number is 512-800-1580. And you can call or text that number or email me if you have any questions. Even if you don't have a legal issue in Texas, but you're just kind of curious, reach out to me. I never mind, helping people if I can. So if I can, I'll send you to the person who can. Yeah.
Word. Shout out to everybody in the chat today. Larry's in the chat talking wild shit. So shout out to everybody in the chat that was participating, going back and forth with the conversation. Make sure you go on follow us on YouTube, K-Road Entertainment TV. Hit the subscribe button. Are you watching House of Dragons?
Of course. I have to live. Yes, absolutely.
I would assume you're Team Green, but I don't want to make that assumption.
It's I don't know if people picked up on this, but I'm just team women in that show. Like this show is all about women, and I go back and forth. To be honest with you, I go back and forth. And I was the same way with Game of Thrones. A lot of people didn't like what's her name, Cersei.
Yeah.
I kind of digged her. I was like, I get it. Like, so yeah. But yeah, I don't know. That's I'm just here for it all. I just love the whole thing. The whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Seeing my man See Smoke chase the black dude all through the forest. Spoiler alert for those who haven't watched it yet. But,
yeah. Catch up.
Right? The show came on Sunday. It's Wednesday or what day is it? Thursday.
Yeah.
We're gonna be here every Thursday night after dark, 9:00.
All right.
Live stream on the Facebook, on the YouTube, and on Twitch. K-Road Entertainment TV on Twitch. So make sure if you're on there, hit the like and subscribe. Send a comment. Let us know how you feel about the show. Interact with us because we're gonna be interacting with you next week. Our usual co-host couldn't be here tonight, but the legendary Protege will be here on the next episode as well. Not sure what we're talking about yet, but stay tuned. And thank y'all for coming on today.
All right. Peace.